My name's Andrew, and 2 summers ago I set out to build a custom shed, so I modeled everything in SketchUp, ordered the materials, and got to work. I had a bunch of leftover pressure-treated 4x4s from another project, so I decided to build a wooden shed base, but in hindsight, I wish I would have just framed the walls directly on the concrete. I used a few Tapcon screws to secure the base to the slab and used pressure-treated plywood as the decking. To frame the walls, I marked 16-inch on-center stud spacing on my top and bottom plate, then secured the studs to the top and bottom plate using a framing nailer. And because I wanted to install a window on each side of my shed, I framed out the king studs, jack studs, etc. to accommodate the window size I selected. The front wall of the shed was a bit more complicated, so I started by laying everything out on the base, and then I needed to rip down a 1/2-inch piece of plywood to get the thickness for the header. Then it was simply a matter of securing everything together based on my completely free framing plan that you can grab at the link down below, and then lifting the walls into place. It's very helpful to have a second person to hold the walls, otherwise you're going to have to install a brace to hold them in place temporarily. I secured the corners together with a few structural screws, and then used the double top plates to lock everything together. After cutting out the door opening using a sawzall, I moved on to the lean-to roof rafters. My rafter spacing was ridiculously conservative, and then I cut out the bird's mouths at the top and bottom of the rafter using a framing square and a circular saw. After testing the fit on the front and back of the shed, I used that rafter as a template to cut the rest of my rafters. And after marking the rafter spacing, we lifted all of them into place, toe-nailed them into the top plates of the walls, and then used hurricane ties for extra security. Next, we toe-nailed in all of these pieces of blocking between the rafters, and then we positioned our fascia boards on the front and back in place. You can use a jig like this to hold the fascia board if you're working alone, but once positioning it with the 12-inch overhang, we secured it in place. Bar clamps are going to be your best friend when working overhead, and then we used a few pieces of blocking to secure the outermost rafter. For the roof decking, we used 1/2-inch plywood, got it positioned in place so that the edge of each sheet of plywood landed in the direct center of a rafter, cut everything to size, and then marked the rafter location so that we can nail it to the rafters every 12 inches or so. At the base of the shed, I installed this ledger board and then painted the T111/LP smart siding and rested that on the ledger board. I made sure that each 4x8 sheet of siding was interlocked properly, cut out the penetration for the window, and then secured the siding to the studs every 12 inches or so. And I caulked all the nail heads and painted them to match later on. For the front of the shed, we used 1/2-inch plywood, positioned it in place temporarily, marked all the penetrations, then cut them out using a circular saw and a jigsaw to clean up the corners. After confirming fit, we secured the plywood in place, and then we moved over to these jack studs on the side of the shed. I installed the mounting board and then installed the jack studs as shown. Next, we cut the plywood to size, secured it to the sides of the shed, and we also secured plywood to the underside to kind of serve as a soffit. Next up, I pre-painted the PVC trim boards black, secured them to the corners, making sure they were flush, and then I used screws to attach them, but I should have used exterior rated brad nails. For these windows here, I left a slight overhang, and this is going to serve as a lip that catches these acrylic window panels, which saved me a little bit of money. Next up, we installed the remaining PVC trim, then I went to waterproof and installed the windows, securing them in place, and then installing the trim around the perimeter. After a bit of touch-up paint, I moved on to the roll-up door, and this was incredibly expensive, but I thought it looked really cool, so I figured it was worth splurging. Then we positioned that in place, secured the frame, and then it was just a matter of testing it out. Next up was the roof, and we started by installing the drip edge, and then we rolled out the tar paper and secured it with staples before cutting off the excess and putting on the starter row. Then we used a chalk line to make sure all of our shingle rows were straight, securing the shingles to the roof using about 4 nails per shingle. When I got to the top of the shed, I installed this ridge flashing, nailing it in, and then using roofing mastic to seal the nail heads. Once that was done, I built a ramp using some leftover composite decking for my deck, and then I ran electricity from my house to the shed. And I want to mention that I have dedicated videos for every single project associated with this shed, from the ramp to the electricity, etc. So if you want details on any of these projects, check out my channel. Now, moving back to the inside of the shed, I'm installing this French cleat style system called ProSlat, which has a bunch of accessories that makes organizing the shed pretty easy, and I definitely went over the top by applying a metallic epoxy to the floor, but you'll see how it looks. Let me know if you think it was worth it. Let's take a quick reminder look at where this project started, and here's a look at the final result. And I want to show a couple sheds that others have built using my shed building resources. I think a lot of these look really good, so take it as inspiration for some modifications you can make for your shed should you choose to build one like this. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. And again, I have detailed videos on my channel for all of these shed building projects. Thanks.